Welcome back to the Bernie Kosar Show with the health and wellness guru, Bernie Kosar, and the top dog, Hanford Dixon. What's up, fellas? How we doing?
I'm loving that introduction there. Thank you,
You
Big
like that
Dave.
new title? Yeah,
Yes,
we'll update
thank you,
the
man.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Update that. Gab, you've changed again. You still haven't gotten any better looking, huh?
Right. That's right.
Well, I know it. I keep looking over there for Gab, and then we got Dave
You're
over
stuck
there.
with me,
Ah,
guys.
that's
You are
all right.
stuck
You're-
with me. But you know what? On a positive note, we got Browns football back. It is training camp time. Hanford, Bernie, what was it like? You're getting back into training camp. You're getting back with the crew. What was this time like for you guys?
I can tell you, the training camp memories are, you want to say they're fun. You want to say you looked forward to it. I'm glad that today's players don't have to do training camp like we had to do training camp. But we already would have been in training camp for 2 weeks now, top dog. We'd have banged heads for probably 10 days already. Thankfully, with this heat wave going through the friggin' country right now, and heat stroke you see every year, that they're not doing what we did back then. But wow, the amount of intensity that you would have is almost a little bit of fear because and survival, because you were playing 4 or 5 preseason games back in the older days. Right before you got into the league, Hanford, it was 6 preseason games.
Well, I tell you what, I just sit there and today I just laugh. I mean, I'm just amazed at some of the things they do and some of the things that they don't do right now.
They don't do. Great point.
In training camp because, I mean, these guys, I mean, they hardly ever practice. I mean, you remember when we had 2-a-days? I mean, we would go out and we had strictly 2-a-days, and I'm talking about they were 2-a-days. They were hard. They were physical practice, 2 of them. I think I was laughing because I looked at the schedule of what they have, and I think they go out probably about 10:15 in the morning. They only having 1 practice now. They go out about 10:15 in the morning. They do that for about 4 days, and then they have a day off. I'm like, a day off? You have got to be kidding me. This is crazy talking about training camp.
I love it from the player's perspective for them and their long-term health and wellness. But from a player, a guy like myself, trying to get ready to play and then understanding how you go from really not the hitting part, maybe the cardiovascular, the conditioning part, how you get through a whole game early in the season. So that is a little bit of a balance, how today you want to get more training camp work.
I remember when we came out, we had to do, it was a fitness test, I think they called it. And you remember Red Man?
Yes.
Yeah, Red Man used to, and everybody used to be worried about that old, we had, some of it was, we had to run a,
12-minute mile.
Yeah,
12 minutes.
a 6-minute mile.
6-minute mile.
I was going to say 12.
No.
No, it was 12 minutes. So at 12 minutes, you had to do like 2 miles or a mile and a half or something.
We had to run a 6-minute miles, which I came in at 5:58 every time. But I was making sure. I was under that 6 minutes. And then you have to run so many 40s, 100s, and all that. But it was just crazy. But I tell you, I'll say this, guys. I'm excited. I mean, football season is getting ready to. This thing is kicking off, and it was already kicked off because training camp is starting, and I just absolutely can't wait watching to see what's going to happen not only in our division but over the entire league.
Absolutely. The strength of our division, the strength of our conference, the strength of the quarterback play, and the depth of weapons around the top-tier quarterbacks in our conference, bluntly, and the weapons they have around us makes it for a challenging upcoming year. But if Deshaun Watson plays at the level he played at in 2019, the Cleveland Browns should be wanting a playoff-type caliber year.
Now, Hanford, I know you spend a lot of time looking at tape on these DBs in the AFC North. I think you got some power rankings ready for us before we kick this season off.
I really do, and I don't care what anyone says. I think I know a little bit about cornerbacks, and I think we have
absolutely,
and I think we have some pretty good ones.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah,
I missed the production meeting.
Yeah,
Let me hear what these top 5 are here, my man.
We have some pretty good ones in the AFC North, and I'm going to go with number 1. I'm going to go with the kid with the Baltimore Ravens, talking about Marlon Humphreys. I think this kid right here, last year he didn't allow a touchdown. Last year he didn't allow a touchdown pass all season. And I'm talking about throughout his entire career, he's only allowed 15. He's a very, very big physical guy. And I got him right now as number 1. Number 2, guys, you're going to like this. I'm going to go with the kid right here in our own backyard, a kid from one of the high schools in Cleveland, Denzel Ward.
Nordonia.
Yes. And guys, I mean, let's face it. Last year, Denzel, I don't think had the best year. There was some blown coverages and things that happened during the course of the year that I know he would like to have back. But we all know what he's capable of. We all know the skill set he has. And I think he's going to bounce back. I think he's going to have a big, big year. Denzel is my number 2 guy.
And he's got kind of a number on Joe Burrow. He's probably one of the top DBs that's played successfully against Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow.
Well, and thinking of Joe Burrow, I'm going to go up to Cincinnati for my third guy. A guy play a lot in the slot for the Cincinnati Bengals, talking about Mike Hilton. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's not afraid of contact. He'll get it up in there, and he'll mix it up with pretty much any of the wide receivers or even the tight ends or the running backs, Bernie. I mean,
yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah,
he's awesome in the slot too. And one of the ways now that slot DBs aren't really getting a jam and aren't really being physical at the inside slot receivers anymore. Mike Hilton is one of those old school guys who has a ball hawking and he plays physical, gets a good jam in there.
And number 4, I'm sticking with the Bengals because they have a kid. Now, hear me out. This kid, he pretty much had a season-ending injury last year with the Cincinnati Bengals. Awuzie, am I pronouncing that right? I mean, this guy, watch him. I'm telling you, he can play. He can play the game, and he's going to come back. He's going to play well. And number 5, I'm going with our buddy who we had here in the studio, who I think is going to pop back, Greg Newsome, a guy who now he's really excited. He's not going to be playing as much as a slot. He'd like to play on the outside. So he's going to be number 5, and I'm going to end this thing with number 6. It's old crafty veteran, a guy that's been around for a long, long time. I think he's with the Steelers right now, Patrick Peterson. He's
Patrick
Peterson.
Yes.
He ended up in Pittsburgh?
He's number 6.
Oh, man, I
mean,
don't like hearing that.
He's
as a Browns fan.
Good
for him.
I think the Steelers signed him. I think he came from the
Vikings?
He came from the Minnesota Vikings. You're exactly right. And he's playing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think he still has something left. Obviously, he's declining. He's declining.
But a guy like that, unfortunately for us Browns fans, and I'm remiss for not exactly knowing that, but the way he's able to, veteran, ball hawk, he guesses great, and the Steelers' defense is one of the defenses that's really prone to being able to be aggressive at doing that.
Hey, Dave,
bums me out
before we
brother.
get to our guest, can we put Bernie on the spot with the with the quarterbacks of with the 4 quarterbacks in the AFC North? I can't wait to hear where he's putting these guys.
I'll tell you what.
I can't wait to see what he's going to say with this one now.
Let me save that one, okay, for the next one, because I really want to think through that. But I do love our conference for sure and how it looks in our division. And I actually saw a cool thing as I was rambling through social media today that the Steeler fans were so confident. And I met Kenny Pickett, so I mean this as a Browns fan because Kenny was a great young man and stuff. But the Steeler fans were saying how Kenny's
better than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. So and those are the kind of things that is at my age now does not matter. But bluntly, when you're playing and stuff, so that would have riled me as a player and stuff. So I think that's healthy for us to kind of keep stirring.
Do you think Deshaun saw that?
Hey, Dave.
You want to make sure that doesn't happen. If you're a quarterback, you want to be the best. Okay, so that question Hanford asked.
Hey, Dave, you know what I wish right now? I wish I had them all right here sitting. Kenny Pickett, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun, and Joe Burrow sitting right there waiting on Bertie to answer that question.
That's 4. I'll tell you what, though.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to head.
Yeah.
You're in actually really good shape with all 4 of those.
Right.
I mean,
But number 1. Who
No, Bertie said he's doing it next week.
I'm gonna take it. Take him on.
I was trying to get him to name one of those guys. He's too smart for that. He's like, no, I'm gonna go.
Well, I'm going. Hey, I'm rooting, and I'm going for Deshaun as the Browns guy. Make no doubt about that.
All right, let's bring in our featured interview of the week, because after this, we are back into season mode. We got preseason coming up real soon. We'll be back to our weekly show, back in our groove. But it is time for probably one of our last featured interviews of the off season. We are bringing in Ralph Malone.
Yay.
Bring in one of our old teammates, ex-teammates from the Dog Pound
What's
days.
up, dog?
Okay.
Oh, we
got it.
We muted you out there, yeah, from the Dog Pound days.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech's finest.
Yeah.
What's up, big dog?
Oh, nothing much. Just down here living the dream in Huntsville, Alabama.
I love Huntsville. I spent a lot of time. Let me ask you this before we get to football. Do you watch those? What is it, Huntsville? That show that come on? Do you know any of those people?
I know several of those people. Yeah.
Well,
and everybody kids, they're looking for when I'm going to be on, and I avoid because I've been at a couple of restaurants when they show up.
Right.
But then I conveniently exit stage left because I'm not trying to get caught up in any of that.
Hey man, they are characters, especially
Tell me about it.
that saga going on with what's her name that just got a divorce. That we're gonna talk football, but you know what I'm talking about.
Actually,
Yeah,
I was
no, you're talking Love and Marriage Huntsville. And,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
That's that reality show, huh?
Yeah. Hey man, they go straight to the heart of Huntsville,
Yeah.
and every week, I mean, they are going right at it, and I love it. It's because I'm from Mobile, and anything in Alabama, I try to keep.
Well, then you Mobile, Alabama guys know. I joke with Ralph about the Huntsville. I did not know about the reality show as much, as Huntsville was where Werner von Braun came after World War II. And some of the smartest people in the world ended up there in the 50s, 60s, and 70s doing some of the engineering and space race stuff that's going on that we're benefiting from in the year 2023, which is probably why, not to profile there, Ralph, you're so smart, and it was a Georgia Tech engineering student with all that intelligence going on down there in Huntsville.
Yeah, we try to pay it forward. So yeah, it's still the driving force of the economy here locally, all the government related stuff, and then we've had a lot of influx from. We got Toyota, Mazda here, likewise. Amazon and Facebook just opened up operations here, and then Polaris. So we're got a diversified economy and just trying to attract new talent here all the time. But yeah, we have our share of engineers, no doubt.
Hey, for our listeners or viewers out there, and we're talking about your intelligence and the Georgia Tech education and engineering. I'm saying it in jest, but it's genuinely out there. We've talked a ton about the some of the health and wellness of myself and stuff on the air through the other podcasts and stuff for the listeners out there. Ralph, give me a little bit of your routine, because for our listeners out there, Ralph has Amio Life, and he's one of the main guys that got me started and provides a lot of the smart supplementation and some of the changes that have happened in my life that's allowed me now to actually do podcasts with Top Dog like this and enunciate, articulate, communicate a few messages that actually is understandable these days.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to both of you guys for inviting me on, and enjoyed the times that we had back in the day, but more than that, enjoy the times that we're able to share now, because, as far as we, as young guys, we didn't appreciate it. I think we took for granted our health, our wellness, and all that. But I'm sure each of you, just like me, each day we have to end up taking active steps to preserve that, to enhance that, and then because our longevity here is going to be directly tied to it. And Bernie, you led in to the podcast saying about smart supplementation, food is medicine. But one of the things that I like to say, and I know that we shared with you and how we've kind of come together on this particular topic, is that the most important thing you can do is take care of your health. And it's not a pill you take, it's not the food you eat, it's all of that. It's a lifestyle. And I think the main thing that has happened that, that we've worked together with is, yeah, we have probiotics, we have multivitamins we take, and then we make sure we're dealing with clean water and then the juicing and all that. But it's really the lifestyle change, because a lot of people get tied into a fad diet, or they get tied into, if I take this pill, it's going to solve a problem for me. But it's a lifestyle. And so I'll just say that, and then we can go on. If there are any particular questions or any insights you want me to share, I'll be glad to.
Well, that's kind of what I've evolved or morphed my life into. Is it well said? Is it's not just any one thing. It's a lifestyle. It's a 24/7, 365 kind of fun lifestyle that isn't really a chore or task. It's something that actually I look forward to. I appreciate how you've kind of turned me on to it, and how we've kind of morphed and evolved it together to where we're able now to kind of roll this out and make such a big difference for so many people and stuff. I guess I should have known that in 1986 when other guys were playing cards and stuff, and you and me were playing chess in the corner there. Okay,
Yeah.
Raph,
don't leave Minifield out of that.
Yeah, Mighty Minnie was in that. Yeah, he was in that game too. We were talking
about some of those whippings too.
Hey, Raph, why don't you tell everybody what you're doing right now? Tell us about this company. Tell us about your company that you own. What is it, Triana? Am I pronouncing it right? Industries?
No, Triana is a company I had. It was a manufacturing business. We manufactured wire harnesses for the automotive industry.
Okay.
Well, we moved him into health and wellness now, the Vite Bites.
Yeah, I transitioned out of that back in really it happened when the big three went for the bailout. They changed a lot of contracts, and I made some trips to China, to Vietnam, and also to Taiwan and the Philippines, and sourced some work. But long story short, we ended up transitioning out of that in around 10 years ago. And then really, I've always been concerned with naturopathic health, and so I've always had a naturopathic doctor. But what really motivated me and got me into the business, so to speak, was I had an aunt that actually lived there in Twinsburg, ended up having pancreatic cancer back in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And we ended up doing some naturopathic treatments along with some things she was doing there at Cleveland Clinic. But we lost her, and at the same time was dealing with my mom, dealing with Alzheimer's dementia, and she passed in 2018. And so in 2018, ended up getting involved as an equity partner. And at that time, it was a company called My Doctor Suggests, but we have since been started another business called Amio Life. And you can reach us and see us at AmeoLife.com. And
I'm there every day.
Like I said, and we end up having a variety of products, like say, some of the multivitamins, we have probiotics, we have organic soaps, we have mouthwash, we have lozenges and the likes. And then we end up in the process of finalizing a new product category that we're gonna storm the market with, and we're going after that supplemental gummy market. And it's a product right now we're referring to as Vite Bites. And so a lot of exciting things. And Bernie's
actually, I was grabbing one before the show here, okay, on air and stuff with it, yeah.
Well, that's where you and when you was in the automobile parts, you and Minnie had that connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Yeah, and still, and I still help out some people in that arena just from the networks that I had going in over the past. But yeah, transitioned in primarily into this. But like I've told people, my two lanes are health and wealth, and so that's what I've focused on, over the last 30 plus years, and God willing, I got another good 10 to 20 years to go because
Well,
we
you
want
got
to
more than that.
not only impact people's health and wellness locally, but we want to do it abroad as well.
Hey, Ralph, you're going to be around longer than that with this stuff. This stuff we're on now. A lot of our
And
listeners
now
ask.
I'm just going to be on the golf course at that time.
Yeah, with your smart supplementation and stuff. Hey,
Yeah.
a lot of listeners have been asking me and people when I'm out of my exact protocols and stuff. One of the other things I want to thank you for that you didn't mention was the structured silver, and we don't have to talk a ton about it now, but the structured silver and the trace minerals that you've turned me on to, that I've incorporated into my lifestyle, into my juicing regiment. Is a big part of that community and that ritual. So we're trying to start.
Yeah, but yeah, Bernie, all that goes right back in exactly what we were saying, the smart supplementation and food is medicine. But all of that starts with the quality ingredients and organic processed ingredients because we're trying to get the toxins out, we're trying to get all the pesticides and anything that could impact and cause issues and diseases in our system. And then the silver helps with that. It helps as far as in fighting fungus, molds, bacterias, and stuff like that. And again, our whole premise is the body is the blessing from God, and what we try to do is come up with ingredients, come up with formulations that help put us back to factory settings. It's almost like we're trying to reboot ourselves back to the way we were designed. We were originally hunters and gatherers, but now, a lot of our time spent sitting behind a desk or it's more inactive. And then we're not hunting for food. We're pulling up at the grocery store, or worse yet, we're going to McDonald's and Burger King or wherever else. And so the convenience of our lifestyle has changed. And, in one way you could say it benefited us, but in terms of health and wellness, it's really upended us.
Well, I echo your passion or our obsession for awesome ingredients, because what those ingredients are is actually what gets us the results out the other end. And as I'm saying that, I'm thinking why we need to get those results out the other end, Top Dog, is, Ralph, one of my on the field memories is me and you, our first year together in '86. I think we played the first Thursday night game, the three of us, against the Bengals. You had to go up against the great Hall of Famer Anthony Munoz. Welcome to the NFL, young man.
I pretty much buried all those flashbacks, so thanks, Don.
I'm sorry. I know we're friends and stuff, but Hall of Fame is coming up.
I still think Boomer Esiason is somewhere around the outside of Anthony Munoz. I never got around that outside to see him, though. But yeah, a lot of great players on our team, and then we definitely went up against a lot of great players.
Raph, do you have a chance to follow this team a little bit right now? And if so, what do you think about this year?
Oh no, I follow it all the time. I'm hooked on through the apps over the phone, and so I'm listening to Chico. I also listen to the morning show, and so
we got Chico.
I'm excited just like you guys are.
Yeah.
And then I still get up to Cleveland probably, if not once a month, once every other month, because I have an aunt that's out in Macedonia. So I come up and check on her, and then get a chance to play a little golf up there with like Campy Russell and a couple of the guys over there with the Cavs. So, yeah, no, I'm still very much in tune.
What's that handicap down to?
Hey, I can't hear you. I'm getting a bad connection on this.
Hey,
hey, got to get the game right now.
yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
got
no
to get the
doubt,
tell
no
on
doubt.
himself. You
Hey,
know,
you know what? With the speaking with the three of us here and how we all liked golf, but we love football and stuff, and we were all blessed to have the great Marty Schottenheimer as our head coach,
Oh,
who
yes.
obsessed on golf himself. On the rare times he wasn't obsessing on us and football, he was so into golf and stuff. Ralph, any thoughts from Marty with the three of us here tonight?
Yeah, well, as when I showed up as a rookie, it was a statement that him and Dave Adolph made. They said, "Be a professional that plays football, not a professional football player." And that has always reigned true for me, not only in football but anything else that I've done. Because and I understand a lot of the guys that we watch are young, and we can, as we watch, we end up getting favorites, and then when somebody does something that's not smart, we dive on them, like the latest stuff with Perry on
yeah, yeah,
Winfrey. but
yeah.
but it's that thing that a lot of the kids just don't get translated, or it doesn't get communicated as clearly to them, that they are professionals playing football. And that professional is it's a certain discipline that goes along with it. And it's not only the discipline in what you do with your body, but it's a discipline in learning the playbook. It's a discipline in watching film and learning not only what you are supposed to do, but then learning what your opposition likes to do, and then how you're going to be able to compete against them. So, that's the one thing that I think, resonates not only, like I say, on the football field, but it also resonates throughout the business community and the boardrooms and the like.
Raph, can't you hear Dave Adolph saying that right now?
Oh man,
I
tell me
know.
about it.
I can hear him right now.
Yeah.
I can hear him right now saying that.
And the
Yeah.
professionalness of what they taught us as young men like that. And I see even it's the life lessons. I mean, football is really a microcosm of life, and I think the three of us have got some awesome kind of life lessons from some of the things that they really taught us. Ralph, from some of those lessons and stuff, like finishing plays and stuff, handling adversity. I see a lot of extremism in society today. The fans and listeners now, they see us as jovial, of listening, of having fun together. But like back in 86, 87, we were so competitive, wanting to win, that we had the strike year in 1987. And I think I'm kind of mumbling through this for some of the listeners out there to, when things don't go your way, when you're upset about stuff, so many times today it ends up public and ends up blasted all over the place, and then nothing really gets taken care of, and it causes kind of lines in the sand, long-term issues. Man, look at how much we love each other. Look, we're still friends. We're business partners.
Absolutely.
We talk all the time.
Yeah.
But there were some rough times in 86, 87 with the strike. Man, but we handled our business together. We talked internally. It never got out, and we had success on and off the field. And, boy, I wish we could somehow learn and put that in a bottle to kind of teach younger people out there how to kind of transfer that working together. And even if stuff isn't done right, or we don't always agree on the same thing, we could talk about it as professionals, as men, as people, and then move forward, as opposed to just drawing lines in the sand.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of sport. The beauty of sport, and learn that early on, and just in playing little league, as far as no matter what community you grow up in, what side of the track, whether you're rural, whether you're city, whether you're black, white, whether you're this religion or that religion, you get inside a huddle, you're all sweating, you're all bleeding. And if you and if you got a and if you got contained, or if you got a certain gap, I don't care who you are, you need to get your gap. If you got to cover a receiver, you got to cover that receiver, because we're connected. And and the thing about sports, and especially football, you can have 10 guys do the right thing, one guy blow assignment.
You have a problem.
It's not that guy that had a touchdown. That defense got a touchdown scored on him.
That's right.
And so, and the thing, because you're asking about what I'm most excited about the team is that it seems like we're finally going to address our defensive line issues, because I don't care how much we get Miles coming around the outside, or when we had Clowney, or in the DBs we can have back in the backfield. Hanford will tell you, you can't cover these guys for 5 and 6 seconds at a time. You got to have somebody rushing the passer.
Hey, Rap, you sound like all of us right now. At this point of the year, we're all excited, until the season starts, and then we get something goes wrong with this thing.
Hey, we were talking we were talking before you came on about the changes in training camp, and although it's a lot different from the physical standpoint, one of the things, Top Dog, I forgot to mention, and Ralph, curious of your opinion, yes, they're not practicing the 2 days as much, not the back-to-back days, but also a lot of teams don't go away. The Browns, we were out at Lakeland. We were always together. Yeah, it was 6 weeks, 7 weeks. It was probably too long, but those 45 days we were together, you really developed this friendship, this
chemistry,
brotherhood that we still have today. The Browns have not done that in the last probably half dozen years. I really like that they're going and they're down at the Greenbrier and going to do a dozen plus days there. I really think that gives us a nice chance to develop that kind of chemistry, camaraderie, that love and friendship that we still have today. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that, because again, as far as one of the biggest changes for me when I came up to Cleveland after Georgia Tech was realizing that, okay, you look across the locker room, where after, especially out there at Lakeland, after we had practiced, we had gone in to eat, and we were just sitting outside. And I'm looking across there. I can remember the first night. It was Big Daddy was out there, Brad Van Pelt. I think we had Tim Fox in camp.
Oh gosh!
And all these are guys I grew up watching.
Yeah, is that before we snuck out?
Yeah,
miss curfew.
Yeah,
they made us miss curfew. They were the old guys. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a joke that I think Tim Fox said about Big Daddy, and it just had me dying. He said, Tim Fox said something. He told Big Daddy, he said, "Man, you so old. You've been in the league. Didn't you come into the league in the Negro football league?" And I about died laughing.
Oh gosh! So Tim Fox.
Because the other funniest story I'll tell you, and it's telling on myself, because nobody really knew about this. Nobody really knew about this other than the guys in the defensive line room. I remember I lived on the east side of Cleveland. I lived over off of Lee Road with my aunt. I had an aunt that was living at the time.
Right.
And so I was living over on that side of town. Now, the first big snow we had up in Cleveland that I was practicing, I ended up calling called over to Baldwin Wallace and I said, we're not practicing today, are we?
Hey, dog, you coming from Huntsville, big dog. You don't get no snow there.
I was like, yeah, this much snow. We don't move.
Shut down.
And they said, no, you need to get your butt here.
Hey, dog.
Snow day.
Shut her down. You ain't moving in Huntsville. It's a little bit of snow. Hey,
all right, I'm gonna put you three on the spot real quick as we wrap this show up.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the Browns. Over under right now, 9.5 wins. Let's wrap this up, see if we get some positivity out of the group. Ralph, I'm going to start with you. Browns wins for the year.
We're going over 9.5. I got us at 11. And the only reason I got us that low is because the first 4 or 5 games are going to be a difficult way to come out the chute. But if we can get 3 of those first 4 or 5, then I think we can even go to 12 or higher.
Ooh, smart supplementation. All right. Hey, Amio Life.
That's right. Hanford.
Good.
I'm gonna see what BK goes.
Wow.
So
So I'm absolutely as positive or negative. There's no way I'm going under 9.5 wins. Okay, I never went into a season, whether I was playing thinking negatively like that, and I don't think this team is. And I like that we're going away for 12 days in West Virginia, and Deshaun has the full season. So north of 9.5, Big Dave.
heck yeah. Hanford.
Well, I'm not going into season negative, but when I look at this AFC North, I see a lot of talent. I see a lot of teams that going to compete. The Bengals are really, really good. The Ravens, I think they got Deshaun happy, and they brought some talent on their football team. They're really, really good. The Pittsburgh Steelers are always going to fight you. I mean, I think this kid with their quarterback Pickett, I think he's going to be a lot better. The game, as you know, Bernie's going to slow down for him this year.
Yes.
I'm going to say that.
You know what? You don't have to go under. You can defer.
No.
You can kick the can till next week.
Yeah.
We're not going to
Pull
go.
a birdie.
We're not going to go. We're not going to go under 9 games. I think we'll win 9. I don't think we'll go over 9 games either. That's just the way I think.
Okay, so you're saying we're under the 9.5?
Yeah. See, there you go. There you go. Then you want to call me out on that one, huh?
My engineering math partner.
He will not
I love
let me
you, Ralph.
slide.
I
He will
got you,
not
bro.
let me slide. Ralph, before we go, I'm going to hit you. God is good.
All the time.
My man.
Man.
I thought he was going to let me down there for a minute there. All right, Dan.
All right, let's call it a show.
You know
Good
what we do
stuff.
down south.
Hey, I know it. You know, I was waiting on you, dog. I was waiting on you.
I almost answered.
Season is almost here.
Hey, Bernie said he had your back if you was going to miss out.
We will see you guys next week.
We tied for first right now, aren't we?
Hey, say it again, dog. I miss you. I didn't hear what he said.
I said we're tied for first right now.
Hey, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Yeah, you're the best, brother. You matter.
All right, you guys take care.
Woo, woo, woo.
Roof, roof, roof.